All right, so this event has been a huge step in the SEO4 community. Um, when we started planning the summit and said we really need to own this and it has to be run by the SEO4 Foundation, we were really we were unsure about a lot of things, right? There were a lot of unknowns in planning the whole thing. It was the first time it would be run outside the US. It was the first time it would be run by the foundation. And of course, it's the first time post-pandemic. And just having a budget where we needed to decide how many people are we planning for, because we had to commit the money for that, was a huge step in the dark. And we decided, lots of discussion there. We decided to go for 70 people, and we sold the last ticket last week. So that itself is amazing. And of course, that means 70 is what we optimistically aimed for, right? That was the upper limit of what we hoped we could attract, and we made it. And that itself is just fantastic. There was a lot of work to get there. I definitely want to call out June, because she has spent a lot of time just organizing, thinking about that. And I had 0 cycles pretty much through the whole time. So June did it, and the other person is Daphna, who really on the ground did a lot of work, supported us. There were a number of pretty serious issues sometimes on the way, and she worked through them. She was always very constructive with us, extremely helpful. So you did an awesome job, Daphna. Thank you very much. And of course, we had the support of Hensoldt Cyber for hosting this. That was what made it possible in the first place. We got, I mean, there's a budget allocated. We paid them for some of their services, but it didn't nowhere cover their costs. So there was a significant support from de facto sponsorship from Hensoldt Cyber. So thank you very much for that. And then we have our official sponsors, which are DonorWorks, Excalibur, and Horizon. Again, this is something where we had no clue what we would attract. We talked about sponsorship levels and how much to ask for and all that. And in the end, it worked out pretty well, because we had to approve a budget at the board, and we basically defined the limit of what we could spend. And we went to the board, said we need to authorize that much money. We hope to get 50% of it back. And I think we're at least the 50%. And a big part of that is, of course, our sponsors, because they really covered a very significant part of the cost. So thank you, DonorWorks. Thank you, Excalibur. Thank you, Horizon. But most of all, I must say I'm almost getting what's the word? Yes, certainly emotional. It's been an awesome 3 days, and it's been, to me, exhausting but energizing at the same time. It really sort of wound up the clock, and all the discussion. There's a fair number of people who I sort of seen, interacted on mailing lists, sometimes had video call with some of them, but many of them I knew by name and really did not know them anymore, and sort of having faces put to the names, talking to people. I don't think I've spent, I go to conferences a lot. This is part of my job. I can't remember when I last went to a conference where I sat through all the talks, spent all the breaks interacting with people. And yeah, that of course is what made it exhausting, but also really energizing, because there were so many new ideas. I really think the community has taken a big step forward. last year, it wouldn't have been anything like that. We certainly see that there's a lot of maturing in the community. There's a lot of interaction. People are getting together, planning out things. We have now 3 or 4, 6 that are supposed to happen that are working on pushing forward certain aspects of the ecosystem. And I think the whole ecosystem is really maturing a lot. And I think this event, these 3 days, have really been a significant maturation step in there, sort of a bit, a real sort of step change in the growing up of the SEO4 community. And that itself is really exciting to watch. So I'm just stunned how well everything works, how people came here, interacted, and I think the future is looking bright for SEO4. And so I really thank you all for coming here, for your contributions, for your ongoing commitments. If you can help convincing your companies that are not yet part of members of the foundation, and please do that. We need to grow our membership further. There's a lot of companies that use SEO4 without being members for the reasons June explained. They should join. But yeah, it's been an awesome 3 days. I'm also looking forward to the non-streamed parts tomorrow, the boot camp. But it certainly vastly exceeded all my expectations. So, and that's the result of all of you. So thank you all very much. And let's keep on working together to reach SEO4 world domination. Thank you.
And I think that's it. 2 things I'll mention. You'll probably get a survey afterwards. Please fill that out. Give us feedback on what worked, what didn't, what you want to see different from next time. And speaking of next time, remember when the call comes out, submit your abstracts, because all the great talks and presentations and discussions are what made this a really good event. And I forgot to thank you guys.
A round of applause for our 2 program chairs and also the other members of the program committees. It was actually all that hard work compared to sort of an academic conference, because we accepted everything that was proposed. Yeah. But there was a fair amount of...
Maybe next year we will have to select, because we'll have so much...
But there was a fair amount of discussion on how to best present things, right? We decide on, okay, we turn this into a keynote, we have this as more of a discussion session, and it all worked out great. So thank you very much.
All right, and thanks to everyone for being here. If you're not, if you're leaving, been great to see you. And if you're here tomorrow, we look forward to working with you at the boot camp. And we also look forward to seeing everyone in Sydney or San Francisco or Minneapolis.